Just to start with this, I want to start with a disclaimer of all of my opinions are simply first impressions. I don't want this to be a total opinion in the sense that I'm talking. I've experienced this and I know this to be true. I'm just going to say the perspective of some of these pros are pros that I'm excited for things that I hope to see in the future. Some of these things that are cons are things that I don't see currently, that unless something changes, then it's a negative. So there will be some things that are ultimately wrong when I play this for an extended period of time. So that to be my fairness, I will say there are more pros because there simply is the intro to this is very well done. So just to start, if we're going to begin on anything, I've said it a few times already, the cutscenes in Zenless Zone Zero are very solid. The animations are so fluid. The lip movements and the voice acting in them are very well done, and so far are very solid. I want to see more of these because the cutscenes look straight up like an anime. They're very well done, and I do enjoy them a lot. Additionally, the costume detail is it's unique, but it's also well done. There's a lot of detail to them, not just the superficial coloring, but also additional minute details are very well done. I do like that a lot. Going into gameplay, I think there is very interesting gun combat. I'd say gun combat beats Wuthering Waves 100%, whereas Wuthering Waves probably wins out in overall in combat. I would say the gun combat is just way better in this game, and it's just extremely well done. And it's a lot of fun to do, and whereas Wuthering Waves, I do not have fun in the gun combat. So just like Wuthering Waves, though, that there is a stun mechanics, there is a sort of quick time activation with the dodge mechanics, cancel swapping, and then they additionally have a stun mechanic. I will say it's still more basic than Wuthering Waves, but at the same time, I do think it is unique. So I do like the stun mechanic. However, it is sometimes difficult to read when that bar reaches full. So that is kind of partially a con, but I do like that it is unique, and I do like that it does match a lot of those combat mechanics that I do enjoy from Wuthering Waves. So additionally, there is not too many things to invest in early on. Like, I'm not getting that currency overload that I have gotten in games like Honkai Star Rail, that I have gotten in games like AFK Journey, where there are just so many currencies that you get introduced to that eventually you're just like, there's just so many currencies I got to deal with. And it's very easy to handle so far. So like, once again, this is a so far thing. So it's very easy to understand. And with that being said, I am seeing that a lot of these missions are giving me materials for later on. I'm glad that it's not making me use those right off the get. It's just going, hey, here's what you use this currency for. Here's what this gives you. Here's this store mainly for your weapons. Here's this currency that you use mainly for your characters. So I think understanding that may bring a bit of a con in that it is hard really in any gacha to understand currencies entirely, but I think that's kind of something that all gachas really struggle with, in my opinion. So additionally, the character demos are much better than in Wuthering Waves. The character demos are very well fleshed out, and I think that you get a lot out of doing those character demos, as well as playing the characters that you can cancel swap with into those. I found characters that I want to play as well as the S level characters. That was really cool. So I think the demos are second to none. It was really well done. I liked it a lot. Also, something that's that I haven't seen in a while in a gacha game for me is and a lot of people talk about in gacha games is I really like the music. The music is really well done. In cutscenes, it sets the tone. In dialogue, it sits in the background and it's not too obtrusive. In combat, it's actually a bop, and it's really good, and it sets the sort of the beat of the battle, and I like that a lot. So music is very memorable, very interesting. Additionally, the character lineup, though it's small, it's actually very unique. A lot of the characters have different mechanics and different combat styles that certain things that they favor, and that's clear. So of course, you know, like dodging mechanics and cancel swapping, there tends to be something along those lines that they have, but I think each character stands out in its own unique way so far that I've seen from the character demos and a few trial characters that I played in the beginning. Additionally, I think the tutorial is very well done and the first mission is super digestible, whereas Wuthering Waves, it's very easy to do like the intro outro mechanics. That's not my problem. It's just that the intro was just very like staggered and hard to hold on to, and you had to like forgive a lot of things in the beginning, whereas this intro was very well done. It wasn't overwhelming, except for one thing, and I'll talk about that later. But the tutorial otherwise was very easily digestible, very easy to understand the mechanics, and just jump straight in. So very easy, quick to jump into. I would say this is very beginner friendly to like combat gachas like this, but as well as it's just easy enough to latch into the story. Additionally, I love that essentially the intro outro mechanics where when you're swapping to other characters, it's sort of automatic in a way. Yes, you have to basic attack, but I don't know if it's different for challenging modes, but I do like how it's sort of automatic. It's nice to feel those synergies work together and you can see it right in front of you versus like having to manually do it. I feel like with Wuthering Waves, it's way more challenging, and I think that's valid for that to be more challenging, but I think that you have to really understand what the character's doing in order for that intro outro skill to get maximum output, whereas this, it melds into the combat very well and very quickly. So I like that a lot. I like that it's simplistic like that. And lastly, my last pro to this is that the fact that my prompts are voice acted is amazing, even though it's a small thing. So many gachas that when you select your voice prompt, nothing is said, and so you feel like you have to switch between just listening to reading, and I feel like that kind of switches you for immersion. And I feel like the fact that you don't have to is actually really nice. Now, cons. A lot of people have complained about the UI UX. I do understand where people are coming from, but honestly, I don't feel like it's an issue so far. It can get overwhelming soon, but I do like that it's unique. To me, I get a Jet Set Radio kind of vibe. I like the TV, the old style electronics setting. I do understand where people are coming from where they don't like that style, but it gives me a Beautiful Joe / Jet Set Radio. That's where my nostalgia comes from, so I understand that I am biased with that. Another thing is, while I'm playing as one of the MCs, I don't like that so much time is taken up by actually the other MC, so it doesn't really feel like necessarily that I picked an MC to play as. It just feels like that I picked somebody to walk around the main hub area, and then most of the time, because I played as Wise for part of it as well, and it didn't make sense to me. So it's strange that you're picking a main an MC when you're not actually playing as that one 100% of the time. So it just like it feels like, well, there's no need for me to play an alternate account to see what the other MC does. And I know this is something of gachas where it's where really playing as the male female MC doesn't really matter, but I wish it was. This is common in gachas as well, but jargon is still a bit cringe. The whole HDD thing, ether, ethereal, proxy, carrots, hollows. I wish they would just use these in a few sentences before they come up and use a terminology, before they just start using it like rapid fire. It just seems like they pack it into a sentence, and it almost seems like it's not even a word anymore, because now it has like a different meaning for this specific game. So I just don't like the jargon. It's one of my least favorite things in gachas so far. I like the comic style. I do, but I do see how it might be annoying for some people, and myself included. I think long term I might be annoyed by it because it is single panel. I think when you read enough manga, you get used to like the long form panels that I'll just read on my phone, and I'm going through multiple panels at a time. I wish there was a way to do multi-panel so I can see it all there. I can follow the voice text and maybe like put it at 1.5 speed so I could listen to it a bit faster, so I can go through these a bit faster. But I want to see multi-panels because it's a little bit slow for me, and especially when conversations start to get longer, I can see that being a problem. So I would like that to be improved, and I could think that can be fixed if you can allow for multi-panel viewing and sort of a 1.5 speed or 2x speed, even if it's at the loss of like voice acting being like, I guess, super clear. So and then also I've never liked this in gachas. Sometimes it happens in gachas where you get single dialogue choices. Don't give me a dialogue choice. If you're giving me a single dialogue choice just for me to click, stop. Just don't give me a choice. And then on top of that, if you give me multiple dialogue choices, I wish it was like, if I'm choosing, when I saw the hacker, you had the option to either mock them or intimidate them. Give me something for that, for choosing mocking versus intimidation, even if it's nothing. I feel like, you know, whether it's like trust, like, because I think like trust is a mechanic in this game where you can build trust with certain characters. Give me trust or something like that. Overall, I would give the game, as of the tutorial and I would say the chapter 1 story, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. I think it's good for what it's trying to achieve. It's simple enough for me to enjoy. It's casual enough for me to get it, and it's interesting enough for me to pick it up again. And I think this game has potential, and as I begin to explore more into some of the more interesting characters, I think we'll find that the game has a lot more potential that is already there. I just haven't gotten to experience it yet. So if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to the page. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you like these first impressions. What are your first impressions of the game? What do you think you like the most? What are some of the things that I mentioned that you maybe dislike the most, that I maybe missed? So without further ado, that's all I got for this one. As per always, subscribe, follow to the pages. It's all ShawnSetGO on the stream, on the YouTube page, on Twitter, or check me out on Discord. We talk about gachas frequently on there, whether it's AFK Journey, which I've been dialing back a bit now, and then Wuthering Waves, as well as now ZENLESS Zone Zero, and soon Honkai Star Rail. So for those of you who haven't played Honkai Star Rail and are considering playing your first account on mobile, I'm going to be streaming it soon, and I hope I can get you guys support during that time as we play through ZENLESS Zone Zero, and then also try out Honkai Star Rail, or a bit more of it anyways. I've been trying to story in the background a little bit here and there. So with that being said, I hope you have a good one. I'll see y'all in the next one. And as per always, may fortune favor your journey. Peace.